Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor Quiz. How you doing under
I love
quarantine?
throwing. Yeah, happy quarantine. I love throwing wrenches in your plans. So yeah.
I know you do. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Um, and
I'm
rounding out our
trying,
triumvirate of
Polly.
awesome, and somebody who likes fucking with me equally, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how the fuck are you under quarantine?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Well, quarantine's actually beginning to hit me personally in terms of research contracts are running out. No work, so I'm unemployed like everyone else. It's great. I mean, I'm not currently unemployed, but I will be right shortly. So, beginning to feel the burn, and not talking about the commie.
Well, if it's any consolation, they can't evict you for a little while.
I mean, fair enough. I'm not in that kind of position yet, but we'll see. It's a generate dosely. Donate generously was what I was looking to say.
Generate dosely.
That's right. I just don't correct, just run with it. And you know why? Why? Well, because I had about 3 hours of sleep, and it was bad sleep at that. I was telling these guys before we got started, my eyes are burning. You ever had that level of tired, chat, where your eyes actually burn? You're so tired. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm kind of like staring at the screen through squinted eyes. That's what I'm going to blame all my fuck-ups on today. So, Quiz, have you actually gotten around to reading comics under quarantine? I know you usually don't. Is it?
I try.
Okay, what was the last thing you read?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Ouch. Oh, see? That's just...
Quiet you. I reread my pitch, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, BG. Talking about how is lockdown much different from your normal life? Well, for Jack,
It's about the same.
I picture Jack much like a hermit.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He's off, stacks of comics, not much else.
I don't have a lot going on. I don't like other people either, so it works out pretty well.
People, yeah, I don't like them. Hey, Unholy Reapers here. How's it going? And everyone else, Matt Winter and Evil One, Ryan Walters, Evolved Potato, putting our links up as always because Evolved Potato rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Evolved.
Who else is here? Doug Rampant, and scrolling up here. Oh yeah, Becca, of course, and some asshole named Inquisitor, Assassin of the Gray, on the Killer. Oh, Angela, yeah, Angela, and the Cultist, and James Cawley, and Frank Hubbard, and Functional. There we go. Lots of fucking fantastic people. I love it. And I've got a feeling Sinatra's out there lurking in the chat, listening. Fuck you. He knows I love him. It's a joke. It's really not.
He's really just bitter of Sinatra not showing up with a pitch.
What's funny about that? That leads to a nice segue. So I've been putting up pitches as well. Unholy Reaper, thank you for the donation of $50 fucking because he's generous and awesome.
Hey.
Here's my share now. Stop bitching. I've got to change the text so it's actually readable because it's so small that I can't see it when it pops up on screen. I got to go into Streamlabs and change it. So I lift up my other laptop that's got Streamlabs open on it to see what it says, and it's stop bitching. Oh, well, all right then. Now, what's funny about that? Still have the Noir Bar pop-ups available. So he got naked Ava Green on a bed. But for $50, he deserves naked Ava Green. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh,
yeah.
What's the heavy-duty pop-up for Comic Book Curation? I forget. Oh, yeah. It's Batman with a chest full of money, grabbing stacks of wads of cash and throwing them over his shoulder. Let me change that right now. Fuck. I always forget to do that. Switch them over. But thank you very much. Extremely generous. Now, what was I saying? Oh, so as requested, I've been cutting out the pitches from the end of every stream and posting them as separate short streams. And you mentioned that Sinatra didn't have a pitch from last week. That actually made it easier because there was less editing to do. Don't have to edit up our blathering and going off topic and running down tangential bunny trails. and just getting to the beef of the issue. So issue 78 was like 13 and a half minutes. Us edited down was 13 and a half minutes pitching 3 comics, gentlemen. That's why we need to be shorter. The one where it's just Jack and I pitching, it's only like 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So I guess we know who the culprit is, right, Jack?
Yeah, Polly.
Uh-huh. There's one guy missing. Quiz. And when he's missing, the thing is less than half the length.
I like to explain why I like the book.
I just work here.
So let's see where we're at in terms of stories. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Drag you things live. There you go. Guys are over here. Boom. Share screen. Screen. Nice. There we are. BGS, how does it feel to be a less professional stream than Ranting Monkey? Fucking... we are so less professional than Ranting Monkey. I mean, we got dead air. We got stream drops. We have fucking dropped frames all over the fucking place. We're working with My Potato through all of the things. Monkey's got a NASA computer. We're far less professional than Monkey. All right, article capture. There it is. AMC Theater furloughs over 25,000 employees. Stops paying rent. And it has its credit downgraded. Holy fuck. Did they send a couple of guys to put the thumb screws to you as well? I mean, that's all of the things, isn't it? A couple of guys named Rocco and Bruiser showed up to, where's the money?
I can imagine that AMC is not going to survive this.
Yeah, this is pretty well.
Quite possibly not. Yeah. This could be really ugly for movie theaters.
I can see it, but furloughing, which is the nice way of saying, go home, we're not firing you, don't expect a paycheck, but we're going to call you one day at some indefined point in the future, and we expect you to come back. That, that's the nice way of describing what a furlough is. 25,000 employees not getting paid anymore, that really saves them a lot of money. With these tactics, they might be able to survive, we'll see. Stops paying rent? What do the landowners think of that? It depends. I mean, if they don't get foreclosed on, they can still keep going, right? I don't know. Last week, S&P Global downgraded. This is going to happen repeatedly. Apologies. Last week, S&P Global downgraded AMC Entertainment Holdings, Inc. issued a credit rating, stating that the company would not be able to recover from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Ooh. Did they actually say that? They would not be able to recover? Okay, I just take back everything I said. Jesus. Their credit was reduced to CCC from B. S&P Global explained that the credit rating downgrade. The rating agency expects expects AMC Theatres to remain closed beyond June due to the impact of the coronavirus and does not believe the company has sufficient resources of liquidity to recover its expected negative cash flows. They added S&P expects the company to breach its 6x net senior secured leverage covenant. Jack, why don't you explain what a 6x net senior secured leverage covenant is?
It sounds like a pact they made with Satan.
That is some wordy words, huh? I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there that knows what the fuck that means, but holy God.
I'm sure that's like a credit rating type thing or a contract of some kind. It sounds bad.
That's what you should have went with when I asked you to explain it like a dick. You should have just went, it means bad.
It's bad out there.
Hot out here for pimp theater. The outlook of the company is negative, reflecting on the agency's expectation that there could be a liquidity shortfall within the next 6 months, absent from some sort of incremental financing. The outlook also reflects the potential for a distressed debt exchange over the next 6 months. So AMC Theatres, they tweeted out, in compliance with local, state, and federal COVID-19 directives, all AMC Theater locations are now closed for at least 6 to 12 weeks. AMC Stubs A-list memberships will be paused automatically during the time AMC Theatres are closed. There's a possibility that AMC Theatres could use funds through the government's stimulus package in response to the coronavirus outbreak. It would reduce its borrowings and allow them to weather the storm that has shuttered their doors until such a time that they can safely reopen. A letter obtained by Deadline from Senior Vice President, Development of International whatever the fuck, Daniel E. Ellis, to AMC landlord details the company furloughed 25,000 employees and will no longer be paying rent to an unnamed landlord.
Wow. Real fast. Thank you, James Colley, for the amazing donation. Wouldn't it be cool if Polly had Streamlabs? But if I donate to Polly, I end up with Maker's Mark bottles in my yard. LOL. Thank you, James. That's very kind of you.
I do have a Streamlabs, for the record. But secondarily, there's only liquor bottles tossed into certain people's yards.
Jason Mimosa.
You don't think James Colley's actually Jason Mimosa trolling me, do you?
Could be.
Oh, that'd be hilarious if it was. Oh my god. James is pretty funny sometimes. So
Well, yeah, but I'm disturbed. Jason Mimosa's been here the whole time. Listen to me. Fuck you, Jason Mimosa. By the way,
I see somebody coming with a Maker's Mark bottle in their yard tomorrow.
The clip from episode 80 that I posted this morning, I left the
Oh, you left that cartoon in?
yeah, the Jason Mimosa coloring book page.
Yeah.
When I got to that in my editing software, I'm like, no, I'm leaving that in. That's hilarious.
That was funny. I came across that by accident and I was like, yeah, I gotta include this somehow.
I still don't understand why there's a Jason Mimosa coloring book. I mean, what the hell?
I don't ask these questions because I don't like the answers.
Now, this part of the article is actually interesting. AMC struggling before the coronavirus. Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought Hollywood was doing better than ever.
No. AMC is they tend to open so many superfluous theaters. There's where I live, there's an AMC within like maybe a 2-minute drive from another AMC. They're competing with themselves.
I guess they don't obviously own any part of any foreign theaters, so how they don't have like a Chinese theater chain, right?
Nope.
So they're not getting any of that sweet commie money.
No, but they do get things like Fathom events, which means that they're getting a supply of, money whether people show up to see the movie or not.
Right.
But I don't think it's enough to keep their business afloat.
Holy fuck. I think that there's a extremely sunny side to this. And that's a whole bunch of Hollywood stars having to sell their fucking mansions and move into like regular condos like regular people. And no more red carpet events. And most of movie production will be handled by small indie studios that were able to weather the storm because they had actual liquidity. Because I mean, all the major studios are owned by stockholders. Really, they're all public companies, right? So when when that falls and they don't have, I'm Scarlett Johansson and I demand $25 million to even show up on set, and it's like, no, we're gonna offer you like 5 tops. Oh well, that's not good enough for me. Okay, well,
yeah, I think you'll start seeing more unknowns in movies.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Because they're like movie budgets are going to tank. They're going to be like 10 million instead of 200. So it'll be like, all right, you better figure out how to do this on a shoestring, and that means not hiring those big names.
Mike Bartlett, thank you for the $1. Trolling on the river. Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Matt of Winter says AMC is majority owned by a Chinese holding company. Well, that explains a lot of why they're being so cold with it. That's it. Sell out to the rich 1/1,000,000th of 1% in China. It's a great idea. What could go wrong? The year 2019 had a record-breaking box office numbers with several blockbuster films as well as really great auteur films coming out. However, AMC ran a deficit, losing more than $100 million that same year. The company reports a total deficit of $5 billion plus as well as losses of $149 million. Given the current year for the theater chain, it's unlikely they'll be able to bounce back. For the future of the movie business, it could certainly mean less screens for studios to show their films. Aw. But how will Mark Ruffalo get the money to tell us how to live?
They'll probably invent some sort of cleansing juice or goofy crap like that.
Right? He'll be the new goop supplier.
I was gonna say, is he gonna become a goop food editor?
Looks like a goop chugger. I mean,
yeah.
Mike Bartlett, sweep the leg, no mercy. Give him a body bag. I like him.
Chat is on fire.
A body bag.
I know. I need that on a soundboard. Give him a body bag. Come on, somebody. Somebody other than Mike and us three nerds. Do you know where that's from? Please tell me you know where that's from. I'm feeling really nerdy.
No, we're gonna end up being nerdy. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. There's a bit of uncertainty as to if those films would even get close to the kinds of dollar amounts. Some sites, such as Deadline, have speculated that Chapter 11 bankruptcy could be an option to help the struggling theater chain. AMC touts 1,000 theaters and 11,000 screens across the globe. Imagine losing all of those in 2021, especially with those films coming out next year. All I want to see is Kathleen Kennedy welcoming me to Walmart. Is that so much to ask? Really? Her new contract made me so mad. We'll put her on for 3 more years because we're selling out to other companies and we want everything to look stable, even though this bitch damn near sunk our boat. Especially with all those films coming out next year that have been moved to the following year. In the short term of it, AMC might have to reduce their theaters. They will have to radically change some of their services to reduce operating costs and overhead. You heard it. $50 buckets of popcorn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. We need the money. Popcorn chomping, flyover state morons.
Yeah.
Don't you want to watch films about how racist and bigoted you are? No. I don't. And I'm not even in a flyover state.
Oh, I see. You're just looking down on me and Jack, huh? I get it.
Accept it.
Yeah, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. I said pressing article, but why not?
Okay.
Rumor. What? Oh, hold on for a second.
Is it?
James Cawley, thank you very much. James for the $10. Polydub. Well, hold on. Yeah, I'll read that, sure. Whenever everyone is getting me to say things in my own voice, I'm like, wait a minute, let me read ahead and see what this says. I, Polydub, being of sound mind and body, deeply apologize to the film legend Jason Momoa and to Jack for the abuse. Is what I would say if I suffered a stroke. Thank you, James. That's very generous of you. I have no problem with Jason Momoa's acting. It's his dalliances that I take umbrage with.
His conquests, if you will.
No, I don't will. Okay, rumor. War Machine TV series featuring Riri Williams is in development for Disney+. As Jack keeps saying, Quiz, we are ever closer to the America Chavez series you wanted for so long.
I don't want a series. I want a movie.
You want a movie?
Yes.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, War Machine is a character, Iron Man tech, etc. And Riri Williams is the super genius MIT graduate thief, African-American teenager that for a while replaced Tony Stark as Iron Man and then became Iron Heart, and then now she's her own thing. For a while, Tony Stark was her digital sidekick, I guess would be the best way to explain it.
Yeah, he was the onboard computer.
Yeah. Stark was dead, but to make it short, his consciousness had been downloaded into a computer. So his consciousness was saved with personality intact and all. So if you've ever seen any of the MCU films in the comics, Tony Stark became to Riri Williams inside of her armor his Jarvis, thank you. Talking to her, cracking jokes with her, etc. So it's like really became the second banana to her Iron Man. And it's like, really? A 16-year-old teenager race and gender swapped character? That's great. And so now, with that sort of background in mind, rumor. War Machine TV series featuring Riri Williams is in development for Disney+. The rumor comes from Mike Sutton in his Geekosity Facebook group. That's actually a really sweet cover. Look at that. That looks hardcore. That looks like a freeze frame from a Transformers movie.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sutton explains Tony Stark may be dead, but his technology will continue to haunt the MCU for possibly decades. A War Machine TV series has been planned for Disney Plus since the beginning. He adds, Marvel Studios sees unfulfilled potential in the character. One of a more military bent. What character? War Machine or Riri?
War Machine.
Okay.
See, it's going to be a War Machine series.
It will prominently feature her as a character in it?
Yeah, they explain it a little better as you go,
Okay.
and you kind of have to piece it together. I could sum this article up if you want.
Shoot.
Okay, so what's going to happen is they're doing a War Machine series where Rhodey is suffering from PTSD from the effects of the movies. And from the rumor is that Riri is going to be introduced, and she's going to patch together an Iron Man suit and stop him because he's going to go on he's going to have like a psychotic break.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
it's exploring the effects of trauma and war and PTSD, man, because that's never been done before.
And
Certainly.
you're exploring it through the eyes of a teenage girl.
Yeah, because what they're trying to portray is a military vet who's having a breakdown, and that's been done to death, and it's hackneyed and lazy.
I mean, for a lot of... I mean, every story has been done to a degree. What I would like to see is it done interestingly. I mean, to quote
Yeah,
me.
but you know this isn't going to be.
No,
They're just
but
bringing in Riri.
isn't that the problem? Like what man, we've become so fucking embittered. It's like I see
Bitter
coming in
or-
that Rhodey's going to be like, I fought for this country until I realized it was a giant war machine for profiteering and nothing but destruction. This country's been bad and racist since the beginning. Blah, blah, blah. And then Riri's going to be like, I know what you mean. I came up and, I'm never going to be part of the machine. I'm going to fight against the government, the real threat. President. Whatever. Like, it's going to be along those lines. It's not going to be any kind of, like, actual external threat to the United States or whatever.
No, it's going to be Riri versus War Machine. That's what it sounds like.
Wait a minute. They turned them goddamn Noir Bar pop-ups off. Shit. Oops, let me go back and check that. Thank you, Manic. Very generous. I appreciate it. You rock. Polly, she says with a smiley face. Greatly appreciated. Manic!
And James Colley, would you be happy if J-Lo was played by America Chavez? It would soften the blow. Let's put it that way. Thank you, James Colley.
That would be good casting, actually. I'd watch that.
She's too old.
Yeah.
So? Riri's America Chavez sucks, so at least you'd have some eye candy.
Eye candy? I reiterate my previous point. She's old. Have you seen J-Lo recently? She's not, like, I'm not saying that older women can't be attractive. I can think of a number of them, but just not J-Lo. That's all. She's really sagging.
Not that bad.
Well,
I'm okay with it, because, the older she gets, the more likely I am to be able to hit it.
Wait a minute. Wait. J-Lo. What happened to your constant reference to every woman who's not a thin rail having cottage cheese thighs and no thigh gap? She's the master of no thigh gap. You could fucking shove a fucking wad of coal between her fucking legs and have a diamond in a few days from the pressure there.
Well, It's not about the fact that I find her attractive, because I actually don't find her that attractive. But it would be an angry, rage-filled sex fest, which would be awesome.
I don't know, man.
That
Them
conversation went in a weird
thighs,
direction. Wow.
them
Okay.
them thighs are pretty good. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I'm not the one who's got a problem with thickness.
I just don't find that attractive. The thigh gap is the love gap.
And also over on the Streamlabs, Manic donated quiz. Manic, thank you.
Matt of Winter says, "Damn, Polly, your latency is almost 30 seconds." Yeah, I was looking at latency before, and I've got it set to standard. But I have heard other people talk about just how far the delay. Johnny Bonsacco, I saw her, meaning Jennifer Lopez, at the Super Bowl. She was looking good. Oh yeah, she had everything that medical and cosmological science could bring to make her, you know.
I mean, you're not wrong, but yeah.
See, I meant to say cosmetic, and I said cosmological, which made it sound like, she had like
Superpowers.
yeah, she had appeal to the Eternals or Galactus or something. To help her.
Look.
She's the new Herald of Galactus. Yeah.
There's a lot of artificial ingredients in my food. What's the difference?
Well,
And thank you for the donation, Manic, who says, Jack, Manic, thank you.
there is one part of this article, the War Machine in Riri. It's like, with the coronavirus halting productions, which is also making fools by pointless issues of Spider-Man, development of War Machine has quieted down, but will rocket to the surface again once the pandemic has drifted to irrelevance, says Sutton. It's just so lame. Like this whole Ironheart thing. And like remember Generations?
Yeah, that was trash.
Oh man. For those of you who don't know, the whole point of Generations was a passing of the torch thing. It was new characters who are replacing their canon counterparts, encountering them, and their canon counterpart being totally okay with it and passing the torch away, like, you're better at this than I ever was. You're braver and stronger. I'm irrelevant now. You need to take up the mantle. So it was like Captain America, passing off the shield. It's Tony Stark passing off the armor and the name. And he's like this, and every single time, gender and race swapped. It's so generations. It's time to pass it on to a new diverse generation. You guys are probably sick of hearing us say this at this point. Create original characters.
Because it was the branding is what they wanted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was just lazy. It was
that's
poorly
the whole
done.
point. It's like all of the drooling neckbeards who buy Thor will buy Thor because it says Thor on the cover. It doesn't matter that we've changed it to Jane Foster being Thor. Yes, it does matter. Everyone who bought Iron Man will buy Iron Man, even though it's Riri Williams, who acts like a psychotic person. Like, she's crazy, Riri, in the comic. She blows shit up and just, well, I need to get it done because she's a brash teenager. And she's a violent psychopath.
Wait, are you saying that Riri is cray cray?
For real, though.
Not for real, not for play.
Oh. She's a crazy person. And it's like, Tony at no point is like, whoa, you just like killed a bunch of people that didn't have nothing to do with what you were going after. He never says
power
that.
Fantasy. One of Brian Michael Bendis's least well-liked characters, because yet again, Brian Michael Bendis has the touch of death.
And everyone please turn up a bit. You guys are experiencing any audio difficulties as we're going on. Chat. If I have to catch it, I will definitely do what I can. All right, enough of that story. I'm okay with a War Machine story. I'm okay with a PTSD story as long as it's told well. Just like you said, I don't expect them to do so. That's the problem.
Yeah, and there's apparently not a villain to fight. He's not overcoming anything. It's just now he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's so weird too, because it's what brings him back from the brink. A crazy thief murdering psychotic teenage girl?
Yes.
It sounds like she's just gonna defeat him and become like Ironheart or maybe Iron Man. I'm not sure. They're not real clear on what her exact title is gonna be, which makes me worry.
I so we were talking about who can play J-Lo or who's gonna play J-Lo. Thank you, happy dude. See, I've got some of the pop-ups working apparently. I'm just blaming Streamlabs for this because the Spider-Man kicking infinite jihadis in the ass came up. Happy dude. Hello, almighty nerdy otter. I'm here to say hello to you, Quiz, and everyone in chat. Also, give me good vibes as I don't have buyer's remorse tomorrow as I pick up my new laptop. Also, have either of you ever read the Shattered Grid Power Rangers comics?
I actually have all of them,
And
and that was a shockingly good series. I'm not a big Power Rangers guy. I don't really know much about them, but that was actually really good. I'm going to review them here eventually because got to reread them and to record the video. But man, that was really good story. It'd probably be better if I knew more about the Power Rangers, but it was a lot of fun. Ryan Parrott's a really good writer.
it's surprising and good. So what's the Shattered Grid? Is that like lore
Uh,
that you'd have to
no,
watch the show to know?
they have two books. Okay, they have Go Go Power Rangers, which takes place before the Green Ranger. Because I guess that was like the first couple seasons of the show.
Okay.
And then the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has Tommy on the team as the Green Ranger. And what happened was there was a big time kerfuffle, so the teams got mixed up. I haven't read it in a while, but yeah, it's basically an excuse to try out new things. There's like some evil rangers in there too, and it take too long to explain. I didn't understand about half of it, but I had a lot of fun reading it. Because, like I said, I don't know enough about Power Ranger lore to get the most out of it. But if you're a Power Ranger fan, that book is for you.
Well, I understand Linkara has a long-running, detailed, exhaustive series on it if you want to go check out the complete history and lore of Power Rangers.
I think we both know I'm too lazy for that.
I think we both know that's true, yes. Thank you, Pete, for the $5, who simply comments, no comment. I appreciate it. But if you'll notice the pop-up, see, it is Streamlabs' fault. The fucking stupid owl came up first. And one of the default things that Streamlabs has. And then eventually, Spider-Man kicking jihadis in the ass.
I don't know. But yeah, if you're a Power Rangers fan, check out Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series. The Shattered Grid story is really good. And the regular series is actually pretty good. That's a good book. I've been trying to get all the back issues so I could read it straight through, and maybe it'll fill me in on some of the shit for Shattered Grid when I review it. It actually inspired me to go back and buy those issues because I actually liked it that much that I was like, wow, this is a fun adventure story. And that was a couple years ago when everything was really shitty.
You want to talk about things being shitty? Here.
Well, we just talked about Riri.
let me give your eyes a feast here. Sorry about this, Pat, but you have to look at you. Juggernaut with nipple rings.
Is he have henna on?
It kind of looks like that. I don't know if those are supposed to be tattoos or like burned in
But did he marry an Indian man?
marks. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him, but he looks a little different. I mean, even if he didn't had everything except for the nipple rings, it's the nipple rings that really makes it look weird. Why?
It doesn't go with his helmet because they're kind of gold looking. His helmet's like a silver color.
Oh, Pete says, yeah, you get to choose from about 8 of them. I chose the owl. See, I don't know how that works. I thought it kind of Streamlabs force changed it to whatever pop-ups are there. It's like over on Noir Bar, because people tend to donate in round amounts when they tip the bartender. It's like, I've got pop-ups for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 25, and 50. But people only get to see 4 of them because they keep donating in these nice round amounts. You ever been over to Sinatra's stream? He's got like 50, 60 of them. Like weird numbers, like $7.28. Like, oh, okay. Right. Now, Let's talk about Nipple Man here. This is coming from CBR. You want to talk about them being out of things to talk about? People being other things to talk about? Look how many articles are on the same thing. Go ahead. Avengers Anatomy, the 5 weirdest things about Black Widow's body explained. Okay. Avengers Anatomy, 5 weird facts about Iron Man's body explained. Written by somebody else. All right, that's a little weird. Avengers Anatomy, 5 amazing facts about Captain America's body explained. And that's where this is coming from. X-Men Anatomy, the 5 weirdest things about Juggernaut's body explained. What are you guys doing? And again, written by, yet again, somebody else. There's no new comics coming out. They're lost. So they're just doing these weirdo top 5 clickbaity things that are, if you read through the stories, it's like they're not really explaining much of anything of interest. You're out of subjects, aren't you?
Is it an exclusive?
No, but these are TLDRs.
Ah.
You guys want to hear about the weirdest things about Black Widow's body? I do.
Is the word penis involved?
I really, really hope not. See, I don't like this. Like, I think Scarlett Johansson, is pretty attractive. I know Jack doesn't, but I do.
Ugh.
And I mean, she's an airhead who says dumb things from time to time, but you know, she's an actress. What do you want? But I think she's pretty hot, but I don't think that means that every time you draw Black Widow now, you need to make her look like Scarlett Johansson. I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what I mean? Can you imagine if Mary Jane had been drawn forevermore like Kirsten Dunst? That'd be terrible.
Yeah, they have a bad habit of doing that. What they should do is have the movie universe as its own comic line for like younger readers and just leave that and then do that crap over there.
Yeah. Oh, Vol Potato mentions the list of different gifts for different amounts in the description. Yeah, I saw that Sinatra did that, and I was thinking about doing that. But I'm a terrible YouTuber. I don't know if you guys have noticed. How many months did it take me to get around to clipping out the pitches from the end of the episodes? You know, it was a quick little aside note on that. You know, I was telling Jack and Quiz about this. You know what worries me about that? Is spamming people's sub boxes with a whole bunch of stuff that they've already seen. I know some people say it's like, oh, I want the pitches as separate clips. Yeah, okay. But I don't think everybody does. I don't think everybody wants like to get like, I could clip up 5 of them in a day, edit them up, and then post them. But who wants to see 5 of those things fill in their sub box? I've known when people have done that. Set up streams in advance and forgot to put them private, but they had them set to premiere. So you'll get like a dozen streams that they've planned out for the next 2 months all come up in your sub box at once.
Yep.
Last thing I want to do is annoy the people that were nice enough to subscribe to my channel in the first place. I'm not sure. And no, YouTube does not allow you to block notifications for things. Like, meaning people can just stop by your channel and click on that playlist of past pitches if they want to. The only way you can do it.
You should schedule them. Then they don't appear on people's feeds.
Yeah, they do.
No.
If you have a scheduled, you schedule Back Comic reviews, and I get them in my sub box and feed.
What do I have scheduled for tomorrow?
Oh, you mean like showing up in advance before it actually goes live?
Yeah, it won't show up if you have it just set for scheduled. If you have it set for premiere, then it shows up.
Right.
So if you just schedule a regular video, not a stream, like you clipped out part of the stream and you made that its own video, that won't show up in people's feeds if you set it for schedule.
Yeah.
And then it'll go, when it goes live, it'll show up.
Yeah, my point being is that I'm not looking to piss off the audience. Well, it might seem like that at times. It's not true. Pete says, you're a YouTuber? You're so bad I didn't even know. No, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a grad student stumbling forward through a digital world I don't understand. Avengers Anatomy, 5 weirdest things about Black Widow's body explained. You think she's got nipple rings? Huh?
I don't think they'll show us if she does.
Natasha Romanoff has a lot of things in the Marvel Universe. Has been a lot of things in the Marvel Universe. From her time as an assassin, a spy, a villain, a hooker, and avenger, Black Widow has shown that she's one of Marvel's most skilled fighters. And she also has one of the biggest hearts, and if she doesn't know it. God damn. So bad. Outside of her moral compass, wit, fighting ability, Natasha might even seem like the average human. However, she still has some enhanced abilities that make her much more than simply human. Peak human condition. No, that's still human. In every medium she appears in, comics, films, video games, animation, hentai, the Black Widow is always one of Marvel's best hand-to-hand fighters. Trained in the Red Room since she was a child, Natasha Romanoff is an incredible acrobat, marksman, head giver, ballerina, assassin, and martial artist. Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting's Captain America #27 confirms that she trained beside the Winter Soldier, another one of Marvel's deadliest characters.
Did you say head giver?
That's what I just read what was there. Along with rigorous training, Natasha Romanoff also has a super soldier serum pumping. No, she doesn't. This is retcon.
What? Oh, about the super soldier serum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is retcon garbage. This is. Anyway, all right. This
Everybody's
version.
a super soldier now.
Yeah, well, all right. This version of the serum does not grant her the same strength as Captain America has, but does allow Natasha to perform peak head and human condition effects in regards to her stamina and strength and cackles. And Kelly Thompson and Enalapala Matarlo's Captain Marvel #7, Natasha proves how strong she is by single-handedly taking on an alligator without any assistance.
Tarzan did that. He doesn't have any superpowers.
Yeah. Along with being incredibly strong, fast, and flexible, the serum also makes Natasha physically more durable and gives her a stronger immune system. Injuries that most likely would kill somebody, or butthole sex that would normally wear out somebody's asshole, put them out of commission for an infinite amount of time, are not critical to Natasha. And writer Mark Waid and artist Chris Simi's 2016 Black Widow run, Natasha was brutally stabbed by a Black Widow trainee, but she was able to get back into action after some rest and a most minor medical attention. While Natasha can still be injured, it takes a lot to damage her. Thanks to her healing factor, she can take extra large dildos and she recovers quickly from those wounds in record time if they're too critical and do not result in severed body parts.
They call it the, she doesn't call it healing factor. They call it the Weinstein effect.
Extreme pain tolerance.
It's very specific about a fat man being on top of you, something like that.
So you can hold her breath for up to 5 minutes when she can't breathe because there's a large fat man pressing down on top of her.
That's why they call her whenever the blob's in town. They're like, you can handle him.
Black Widow, isn't it? Okay, what's up, Chris?
Did you know that the Blob's superpower isn't really that he's fat? You do know that, right?
No.
He controls his density. That's his mutant power. So because of that, he can like literally sit on people and it's like the weight of a fucking building on top of you.
Which makes it even funnier.
Polly, Grisella says it's probably making a lot of Freudian slips. No, I'm just reading what's there. You can see it on screen, chat. It's perfectly legitimate. It's fine. Anyway, you know that mass thing you mentioned about the blob, that's interesting. And it's a good thing that Neil deGrasse Tyson didn't find out about that. Otherwise, he might be sending out tweets. I don't know if you knew that chat I'm talking to because I was bitching about it to these guys. Neil deGrasse Tyson decided to weigh in on comic book characters and their lore to offer his scientific opinions on how it doesn't make any sense.
Neither does his career.
A fucking men. Thank you. This is Kyle for the donation. Here's some money for all the entertainment. Well, I'm glad we're offering you entertainment. It's greatly appreciated. No, he did. I was telling you. So there's a picture of Chris Hemsworth as Thor, right? And he's standing there looking like Chris Hemsworth, all muscular and shit with his hammer. And he says, if Thor is a god or has godlike powers, then why does he need muscles? Just saying. What?
because he's not an actual god. He's what people would think of as a god because they're not like him, and he has those muscles so he can fight other people of his caliber.
Well,
Thank you.
he's-
Thank you. That's a great retort to that bullshit he said. That's
he's corporeal.
yeah,
he
he
exists
is.
in the real world. So to perambulate,
Ooh.
you need muscles.
And Quiz reached deep in the word bag and slapped Neil deGrasse Tyson with it. I love it.
Damn.
If you want a good laugh, chat, like, I'm not saying you can't like some of the scientific topics, or shouldn't like, rather, some of the scientific topics that Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about, because astrophysics is actually really interesting. Astronomy and everything, I find it interesting. I watch videos on planets and quasars from time to time. Generally, it's interesting stuff, right? He's an astrophysicist that talks about it, but it's his self-promoting garbage that I can't handle. It's not the subject matter that I don't like. It's him. He's such a self-jerk-off artist. I mean, you name another top astrophysicist that's actually given something to the field. The man's never conducted a single experiment outside of grad school. The man's never submitted anything to a peer-reviewed paper that added to the body of knowledge. He's written in peer-reviewed articles to talk about how awesome he is, to talk about how a secular world would be better, to promote his own worldview. He's a huge, you're a climate denier? Blasphemy! Like, he's one of those guys. And it's like, you're an astrophysicist. Why do you lend your thoughts to every subject matter in the world, from comic books to social relations to international relations to politics to climate change? You're not a planetary scientist. You're not a political scientist. You're none of these fucking things. You're an astrophysicist. And then people back him up by saying, well, he's a really smart guy. I don't know. So's fucking Bill Gates. Would you listen to him to tell you how to live your life? Get fucked.
Like, look, we're all getting microchipped by Bill Gates, so I'm not saying anything bad about the man, because he'll know, and then I won't get Windows 11. Look, we all agree that Dyson, or whatever his name is, he is the modern day Bill Nye for this generation.
Yeah. Well, they're both friends.
I like the reasons you gave for not liking him, but I have a much more simple reason. But now I have all those reasons too. But I think he looks too much like Cleveland Brown from Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
And it bothers me. So because every time I hear him, I hear Cleveland Brown's voice.
Huh.
It's haunting.
What kind of scientists actually waste their time? Some low rent, no name, now incredibly forgotten MC wrote a track about how the earth is actually flat. He felt the need, not need, just this gave him his subject matter, to go on Jimmy Kimmel or the other Jimmy, whatever the fuck, late night comedy show, and do a fucking rap that he wrote himself. It was so cringy, guys. It was like bad slam poetry.
See? Family Guy sketch.
Yeah.
More evidence that I am correct.
And it was so sad. He's wearing like a tight t-shirt and you can see his flabby man titties bouncing around. And when he gets to the end of it, he actually drops the mic and, the applause sign comes on and everyone cheers. I'm like, this is peak cringe. You could pull a muscle watching this cringing.
And if you had animated it and put that voice in, it'd be a Seth MacFarlane show for 30 minutes. Telling you.
So he's weighing in on superheroes, right? He's like, the Hulk, even though he increases in size and musculature and how strong he is, wouldn't change in his overall density because that would be impossible. So when he went from the size of Bruce Banner to the size of the Hulk, he would have the density of this. Puts up a little JPEG of a cork. And then at the bottom, just saying. It's the Marvel universe. The same laws of physics don't apply. Quit being an asshole just to remain relevant. Like, oh, people like the comics? Let me come in and just piss all over them. It could be explained by any number of comic booky things. His mass, he's actually super dense as Bruce Banner the whole time. And when he's becoming Hulk, he just becomes normal density. As one off the top of the head explanation. You could get extra universal with it. His density's actually sitting in subspace the whole time until he becomes the Hulk and then it's pulled back into normal space. Like, I mean, just the list goes on. Have you no imagination? Do you do anything other than piss, moan, and condescend on Twitter? No, he doesn't. That is literally what he does. Goes on talk shows to piss, moan, and condescend. Does it on Twitter. How many fucking astrophysicists, real scientists do you know that have their own talent agent, publicist, and manager?
I don't. I couldn't even name another astrophysicist. Like the dude that wore the girls on his shirt when he landed on a comet.
Oh, right. The guy who
I
had his
like that
career
guy. He was
fucked up.
badass.
Yeah.
Look, Ryan makes a good point. Is Neil deGrasse Tyson not Baxter Stockman from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Create the little robots.
Yeah, right.
And Quiz, check your Streamlabs.
Oh yeah. Thank you. This is Kyle. Here's some for you as well. And James Colley, when she was a hooker, thinks she sucked dick for crack. If not, she wasn't a very good prostitute. That's a good point.
Well, she's like one of them high-end escorts, you know,
Nah.
working uptown Manhattan kind of thing.
Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, Pete, for the donation. I'm not going to read that. You said I didn't have to. That one would get us in trouble. Thanks, man. That's nice of you.
What did you do, Pete? What did you...
He's being funny. Man, chat is on fire tonight.
They actually are. I was just about to say, there's this funny back and forth in chat going on. Mike Parlett says, was it like Daisy Ridley rapping? In response, well, at least Daisy Ridley is hot from Evolved Potato, right? I mean, and yeah. I still think Daisy Ridley's pretty attractive. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, she played a really obnoxious character, but I can look at her on the red carpet and go, wow, that's what you did with that woman? You made me...
She has a cute smile, nice eyes, and a thigh gap.
Yes, yeah. She's all those things, and who doesn't like an athletic English lady with a little bit of a swagger to her, English swagger to her? I'm down. I'm okay with it. So anyway, let's get back to this. Extreme pain tolerance. Black Widow is in a dangerous line of work. Hookers get beat up all the time, and Natasha is no stranger to jumping through glass windows, suffering physical blows from angry Johns and villains twice her size, enduring explosions and continuing the fight despite a few knife and bullet wounds. Would this be fairly? Okay. Would this be fairly debilitating for most people, their everyday occurrences for Natasha? Thanks to the health benefits of the super soldier serum, Natasha's pain tolerance is far beyond a normal human's threshold. It's also thanks to decades of torture, be it BDSM, fighting, and painful training, that she's built up a superhuman endurance that allows her to power through the pain. One of the best examples was in the Marjorie Liu and Daniel Black Widow run, where she drags herself out of the hospital after being operated on while conscious, having felt every cut the doctors made, as well as their hands feeling up parts of her body that she wasn't comfortable with nor consented to. Slowed aging. Black Widow was first introduced as an adult by Stan Lee, Don Rico, and Don Heckle's Tales of Suspense 52 back in 1964, and Chris Claremont and Jim Lee's Uncanny X-Men 268 confirmed that Natasha was a little girl in World War II prior to entering the Red Room. But that didn't stop a whole series of SJWs from completely fucking up the wonderful canon that these brilliant writers had created decades ago. While Marvel has plenty of ways to explain away the age discrepancies of characters who've been adults for decades, Black Widow's aging was slowed, much like the aging has been slowed of the actress who plays her, by the same serum that gave her her other abilities. This allowed Natasha to age slower, feel younger, and maintain her youthful appearance for decades, unlike the CGI needed by today's modern actresses. She's a clone. What's that, Jay?
Real quick, over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, this is Kyle, who says, finally, my last $3 goes to Jack. Don't worry, I don't need lunch tomorrow. Thanks, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, so they got a whole bunch of clones of her that they're growing. God, that's gross, man. That's disgusting art. Look at that.
Yeah, the clone thing is so overdone. It was bad enough with the Spider Clone saga that seemed to never end, and they've just beaten it into the ground so many times. It's lazy.
Oh, man. I'm just going to roll off of that. Gross to be looking at. Prior to the events of Matthew Rosenberg and Travel Foreman's Tales of Suspense, Hawkeye and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow, they believed her to be dead. However, those two Avengers discovered that Natasha has been revived through cloning while investigating a string of murders that she appeared to be tied to. Her body is a perfect replica of the original Black Widow, but this one is newer. Her memories and personality are all the same, as well as the important parts, but they were implanted by the Red Room, who conveniently withheld the information that makes Natasha an independent hero. However, she quickly realized what was going on and reprogrammed her brain so she could be her true, heroic self again. And that's the end of the God, CBR is getting really trashy. You hear all that filthy stuff in there? Wow.
They're getting desperate.
I know.
And not just for smut, but because that article's so fucking pointless.
It really was. It's that summarizes my suspicion that they were just out of content. Here, let's write up some stuff. And truth be told, I'd rather see Nerdrotic or One of Us or, Young Rippa or whoever do a top 5, Linkara do a top 5 thing. You guys are trash at this.
I don't think most of them actually read comic books. They have one or two people on staff that probably read comic books, and everybody else just asks them questions, and then they blather an article out. It probably took them an hour to finish this entire article, throw some photos in, and be like, "Yep, that'll work."
Unholy Reaper asks if the retcon of the Super is that a recent thing, early 2000s. Like it's not a long-standing thing. Black Widow was like, if you see her original introduction, I should go find that comic and pull it up. I got a copy of it because of a Black Widow folder of all of her early appearances and shit. She's not like a madam, but she's I don't know if you guys ever remember the Arranger from Spider-Man comics or the Rose. She wasn't a super-powered person and not even a super ninja. She was like a Bond female villain, like a Pussy Galore type. Yeah, like a Pussy Galore type. She was powerful and rich and hired thugs and machinations and designs and super criminal. Like that was who Black Widow was. And yeah, she had a lot of people assassinated and stuff, like as criminals do. And then they sort of reinvented her as the black suited, tactician super soldier. And then Unholy Reaper says, that's why I stopped reading comics years ago. I would say that was a bad call. Or at the very least, a call worth reconsidering. Like we talked about, I don't know, it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I drink. The amount of comics that I slept on back in the day and the amount of comics that came out before my time could keep me busy for the rest of my life. Always revisit the old stuff.
That's a good point.
I mean,
yeah,
the things
I get it though. I mean, a lot of the stuff they were churning out was that was the around like 2005, 2006. That was really the start of the nonsense we've got now. So it was kind of hit and miss on some of that stuff. So I could understand being frustrated with crap like this. Like, oh, she's got the super soldier serum now. Yeah, who fucking doesn't?
Right.
And it would be. I quit reading around 2007. Because I got sick of that crap too. Like Civil War broke me. I was like, this is garbage. I give up. So I get it. I get why a lot of people quit. And more people quit every year because this kind of garbage keeps coming up.
Cult of Krill. Jeez. Yeah, chat's on fire tonight and Cult of Krill shit posting. Whew.
I saw that video and I laughed. It was awful.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it ran like this. You want to write a good story, and here's some off of the top of the head shit. We do this all the time off stream. We should do it on stream once. So you want to give her the super soldier serum. You want her to be super powerful. You want to add something new to her lore. Okay. You don't want her to just be a regular human. Somebody mentioned in chat, sorry, I forget who, roll up because then I'll lose my place, that Batman did all of the things that they just listed off were particular to Black Widow and isn't super powered or super serumed in any kind of way. Very true. He's just a badass that keeps going through sheer willpower. Now, do you want her to seem like a powerful character of indomitable will? Then make her one. But if you want to add this new thing to her lore that she became superpowered at a certain point, like Black Cat did not have her bad luck powers and then did. That is some of the lore that changed, and you add these things on slowly over time, but make it good, make it comic booky, as opposed to just taking thing from other character. How about the way that Jennifer, damn it, She-Hulk, Jennifer
Walters?
Walters, thank you. The way Jennifer Walters, blood transfusion. Okay, go like that. Make a connection between her and Captain America. One that you can't get away from. A blood transfusion through, he's dying. How is it that he still has the super soldier serum in his blood? Is that the way that it works? Yes, part of the alterations to his body that the serum made was to continue to make the body alteration. She never got hit with the original serum, but she did get a blood transfusion off of him, and because of reasons that you might come up with, it only gave her like half of his powers, but abilities to quickly heal and increased agility and strength and pain tolerance and so forth. And then it becomes a thing between them that they have. It could even be an angry thing. Steve Rogers is extremely angry that this person who has low morals or not up to his standards of discipline of action now has partially his powers and he's responsible. But he couldn't let her die, so he consented to the blood transfusion or something like that. There's all sorts of ways that it can be done. And all of those are a lot more interesting than just her being hit up with a serum.
I think it would be more interesting to give her a limitation like Our Man, where she injects herself with the serum, but it only lasts for like a set amount of time, like 8 hours. So she's on a time limit for every mission.
I like that. That's, her body's been altered in such a way that, because if anyone steals that serum, they could use it for themselves. So it can only be used on her. Her body's been altered in such a way, but she has to power up with it, and it has a time limit on it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
It needs like an activation agent. Just like any chemistry experiment. You have an agent and a reagent. And she has to inject herself with this stuff to keep her super abilities going. Maybe it's addictive too. We don't know. That could be an interesting story.
I like that. Her descending, because she's kind of a dark character to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Having her descending into these like addiction things. And she's angry when she's not superpowered, not when she is. That's what brings the clarity.
She craves it like a meth head.
Right. So she becomes calm and rational and all about the mission, but only when she's powered up. When she's not, she's craving that clarity again and becomes like angry and crackheady and running off and flying off the handle.
She would still be like a normal athletic person, but you crave that like that step up,
right?
That runner's high. Like ex-athletes are always talking about their glory days. Well, she gets to relive that for a set number of hours and makes her badass. Yeah, like Nuke. Thank you, Ryan. I was trying to think of his name and I couldn't remember. but not quite psychotic like Nuke. But
you know what I thought?
But along those lines, she might even use that same, like a different mixture of the same meds that Nuke uses. It could be really interesting, but they went the lazy route.
What is, just for quick, I thought you meant Nuke, the drug from RoboCop 2. Remember?
Oh my God, no, that's funny though.
I'm like, wait a minute, that's a totally different thing, and nobody powers up, and it's addictive for life. I see. No, they wouldn't do that, but it makes me wonder, like, why aren't the conversations that we're having right now? What's going on in the hash meetings where they break stories with the editors?
They don't really do that anymore. They do it in a much more like, oh, you want to do that? Cool, I'll write it down. Thanks, man. Yeah, like Bane does.
Yeah. I like the idea of her with a number of because it creates so many problems. Like when she starts to lose her power, it's like when Spider-Man runs out of web fluid. He gets in, oh shit, what am I going to do? And he can't web sling anymore. Her last vial gets broken when she's in the middle of a critical mission and starts powering down. God, the possibilities for storytelling with that are huge. Like
I know, right? It's way more interesting than what they're doing with her. Like, oh, she's just so awesome now and perfect. Lazy.
It is. And it becomes this thing like, okay, so she's craving like the jogger's high, right? And that turns out why on a story arc she's been accepting ever more risky missions to go on and caring less and less about what the mission's for. Dirty wars. It's like, I thought you were like the nice person, Steve Rogers confronts her. I thought you had turned over a new leaf. What are you taking all of these things, taking all these missions for? You know that you're, just working on behalf of blah, 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 doing their dirty work for them. And, she's doing it because I have to get the high, man. And it becomes a bad, like, what if the serum's being supplied to her by SHIELD or whoever, and that puts her in Hawk in this way. So it becomes like another story arc, a fight to be her own supplier, as it were. So she's on a mission for the serum and finds out that Roxxon's behind the whole thing or whatever the fuck. Like,
like maybe she gets a bad batch of the serum and it like ends way too soon and she's in the middle of a mission. That could be interesting.
I didn't even know where this was going to go. Just started pitching ideas. All of this is really, really good. I think that's fun. That's interesting. And there's arcs there. There's steady lore that can be, like, even if you decide to scrap all of that, like she goes clean, as it were. She could always be referring back to like that dark time when I blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
she could be tempted with it, have like a whole Born Again storyline and like, oh, I can't go back to that. I'm going to retrain myself and go off and hang out with some like Taskmaster for a while or something.
And then, oh, wait a minute. Somebody evil shows up, like the Kingpin. Do you want to get off that drug? I can supply you with a permanent fix where you will always be super powered, but you have to do something for me first. Like, like deal with the devil kind of thing. I mean,
exactly.
I like the idea more of the fact that she needs to get more blood from Steve Rogers like a vampire.
She's constantly sneaking in his apartment at night like a succubus, stealing blood from him. Well, that could be the Ultimates if they ever want to revive that. That's the dark side of Black Widow.
Serious MGTOW storyline. She's trying to steal your fluids, Steve. Shut up, Hawkeye.
Aw. See, okay, Mike Parlett says I was thinking that too, like the nuke thing from RoboCop 2. And then Pete says, I loved RoboCop 2 at the time, but I watched it almost a year ago. It doesn't hold. I disagree. RoboCop 2's total quality.
Garbage. It's written by Frank Miller, and we all know why it's garbage.
I'll be right back.
All right. See, you've said that before, and I have entreated you. If you think the story that they ended up using was bad, you should go read the comic book that's based on Miller's original script. Holy shit. It goes full Miller, man. I thought it was pretty good. Giant RoboCops fighting each other. I mean, 2 times the metal. Get rid of nipple clamp Bane here, or Juggernaut rather.
Don't be afraid of the nipple clamps.
It's supposed to. I mean, I get that he's supposed to be a villain, but it's no. Rumor. The Eternals pre-production was in disarray. Kit Harington's Black Knight costume will be CGI, because that always goes well. I like the idea of a Black Knight being played, but yeah, that works out. You got the budget to meet. Because even with a big budget, CGI can go horribly wrong. Weibo Jones and a bunch of her patrons watched Cats, 2019 Cats.
Was it the butthole cut?
No, it was not the butthole cut. She couldn't find it. And I watched it with them. One of the most distracting things about the whole thing is the CGI. Like, their CGI tails are just terrible. It doesn't look real. It is painfully clear that the whole time they're standing in a giant green room.
Yeah.
There's moments of it that look far, far worse than anything you see in the Star Wars prequels in terms of obvious generated background, not real. Terrible. A great example of how.
It doesn't hold up over time either. Like the more you watch it, the more your eyes notice the CGI.
Yeah. Once you see it, your eyes are drawn to it. It's the uncanny valley effect. Something weird's going on over there. What is it?
Yeah. It'll trick you up for a little while, but not over and over again.
Yeah. Game of Thrones star Kit Harington will be playing Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, in the upcoming Eternals film. It's a good match, given he's been playing a knight of sorts already in the form of Jon Snow for so many years. One of the biggest mysteries about the film is the actual costumes the characters will wear. Nothing has been released regarding what the characters might look like, although we did get some alleged leaked photos showing Richard Madsen's Icarus, Angelina Jolie's Theana. Angelina Jolie? Why? Oh, God. She's like
Now,
Darth
there-
Vader. More machine than man, twisted and evil. She's like 90% plastic at this point.
Well, there's a woman that has not aged gracefully.
Oh, any fucking man.
And say
That still hit it.
Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, no, she still looks good. I was looking at pictures of her recently. You know, like 2019 pictures of her. She still looks good. Angelina Jolie, not so much.
Hey, Chaos Eve's here. How's it going? One of the biggest mysteries about... Oh, I already read that. Well, we haven't gotten anything about what the superhero costume... Oh, wait a minute. I already read... No, I didn't. Wait. God damn, that reads a lot like the previous. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, his costume's going to be CGI. See? I'm a terrible YouTuber.
Just
Yeah,
See, that's terrible writing. No, that's just not English. What were you going to say, Jack?
I don't have a problem with them casting him, but I think it's stupid to CGI his entire costume. That's kind of dumb.
Sometimes it can look really good if it's well done. Like Iron Man's armor, Batman's armor in BVS. Looks fucking awesome. Looks great. Or it can be like Green Lantern's mask in Green Lantern and look just painful.
Well, if they're doing this to save time and money, it tells me that's going to look like crap.
Rushed pre-production. A new rumor now explains why we haven't seen the characters in their superhero uniforms. The direct and insider, Daniel Rachman, claims that pre-production of the film was rushed to meet the filming schedule. They claim due to the rushed pre-production, sets weren't fully completed, parts of the script were incomplete, and the costumes weren't finished. Christ.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. The script wasn't even finished.
Why the fuck were you even in pre-production if you hadn't finished the fucking script?
Well, look how well that worked out for Men in Black 3. They started filming that catastrophe, and they hadn't even cast, like, they didn't have a script, and they didn't have the actor that was going to play the young Tommy Lee Jones guy.
Yeah. Look at this awesomeness, though. The cover.
Yeah, that's a sweet cover.
Fucking right.
I like the Black Knight. He was cool in the Avengers back in the day.
Damn right. There's a hell of a lot to do with that character, like that you can do with him. I'm all for them using that character. I mean, how many times? Oh fuck! Even that cover rocks. It's very Jon Snow-esque. In any case, I mean, we've said it before. There's no reason to create new characters like Safe Space and Snowflake.
Yeah.
And we say create. I've read people write articles that the claim of Comicsgate or anybody who's a comic book dissenter in recent years, like they would say, create new characters. Well, here's the danger of them creating new characters, of assholes who are afraid of comic book characters in their youth decide to write something to appeal to the fellow kids. Yeah, they're gonna come out with some fucking crap. You're goddamn right. Well, it's like if you can't create a new character, you don't want to think. Go into the Marvel pantheon, which are just thousands of fucking characters, and revive someone you like. You want it to be a diverse character POC, then pick one. There's lots. Just don't be an asshole about it. Like that guy. Safe Space.
That dude's a millionaire.
I am still amazed at that.
I know. That's why I mentioned it, because it bothers me. Did you ever read his book, Santa's Husband?
I did not.
It's bad.
Santa's. I remember that now that you're talking
Black
about
Santa. Yeah. It was the most pandering, shameless shill work I'd ever seen. It was just propaganda.
Well, it's sad when you hear a character that you like that you think will be great to use in film, but you know it's going to be fucked up because of whose hands it's in. That's a fucking depressing situation. It makes you think, yeah, stick with America Chavez. As opposed to, yeah, do that character. He's cool. You don't want him touching the cool characters. What kind of fucking situation is this? Somebody asked way later on, like when we first started, there's still an MCU? No, not according to my headcanon. It ended with Infinity War, and Endgame was an epilogue, and that's it. That was the MCU. It was a great 20+ films. They had an awesome run. Some of them were way better than others. All of them passable, generally speaking. Never thought when I was a kid that I would ever get that. It was a great thing to get. It's over. Every movie that's going to come out now, in my opinion, are going to be fucking revived Frankenstein zombie monsters of cinema.
Probably.
It's done. Phase 4? There's a reason people jokingly call it Phase Bore. Look at all the bad fucking... I mean, you got the Jane Foster Thor. You got this eternal fuckery that's all screwed up in 10 different ways that we just described. And Captain Marvel 2. Oh, looking forward to that motherfucker. Please. And yeah, there's another story. CBR, Diamond furloughs employees effective immediately. They're all going down, man. And this story related on the same kind of idea because of COVID. Don't expect San Diego Comic-Con to happen in 2020 or 21. California Governor Newsom, isn't he a beloved man, has raised doubts over the San Diego Comic-Con taking place over the next 2 years due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. I mean, Comic-Con is fucked anyway. It's a trash fest. It's largely about movies, and studios control it. It's not about comic books. Who gives a fuck? It's a giant red carpet for celebrities to show at and promote and plug movies they're in. And that industry is thankfully suffering a quick, fast, horrible, writhing death right now.
Yeah, they've really ruined it. It's a shame. Used to be about comics, and it was just a nerd activity. It was like Nerd Mecca. Now it's the sellout version.
Yeah. How could it... a whole bunch of nerds get together, like meaning like there's money passing hands. We want a piece of that. And if you're going there and your little homemade cosplay or whatever, and showing up looking for, I don't know, to fill in misses in your runs of whatever series or whatever the fuck, or sell the high value comics you've had for years and you're getting out of it, or go there and buy the new merch, whatever it is, man, that's not what's going on there anymore. It's paying a lot of money in advance online at 11:59 p.m. because the tickets are sold out by 12:15. You know what I mean? You got to be online to get them. You pay god-awful amounts to get in, and that doesn't allow you access to shit. That just gets you in the front door. Then you have to pay extra money for this panel and this panel and this panel. Oh, man.
Well, to be fair, going there and getting, filling in your backlog and stuff like that, the dealer floor is still there. And you can still go there and buy comic books.
But you do have to pay that fee to get in the door.
Yes, you do.
That god-awful fucking fee.
It's just that anything you got to do afterwards, like if you want to go to any panel, you have to probably pay to get into the panel as well. That's why Comic-Con San Diego has been bloating itself to the point where it's not worth going anymore. Go to smaller conventions. I mean, I've been beating that drum since the beginning of comic book curation. There's a ton of them. There's a massive resource you can go on online. I can't remember exactly what it is. I can look it up though. That details all kinds of conventions, from comic books to gaming to retro toys to video games. You can find a ton of them, and they are small. They're like maybe 1,000 people at the most, and going up to like maybe 10,000 at the peak. And those are going to be infinitely cheaper. You don't have to pay for any of the panels if there's any sort of panels going on that you want to. You have access to the dealer floor, so if you're going there to look into filling up your backlog, you can easily do that. You don't need to go to Comic-Con.
Get this. The San Diego Convention Center, which houses Comic-Con, is currently being used as an emergency center for the city's homeless population in order to halt the spread of COVID-19.
These cosplayers are great. They all look like zombies from The Walking Dead.
Yes. God, they even smell accurate.
Yeah.
They smell like they're
Except
dead.
they keep saying spare change instead of brains. I don't know.
We're a bunch of pricks. Holy fuck.
It's gonna take them a year and a half to delouse that place. Jeez. Now I'm being a prick.
I haven't read this article yet. I don't know what's going on here. So let's find out together, shall we? Over 100 comic creators joined to aid stores affected by COVID-19. Okay, I'm not pressing X.
Real quick, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the donation. In Captain Marvel 2, I wonder if Larson is going to tell somebody to drop the taco there, too. Thank you, Johnny.
I wonder if that cat's going to take out somebody else's eye. I'll explain Thor's eye patch, right? They're going to retcon it. It wasn't Hela at all. Over 100 comic book creators have joined forces to help comic book stores who have been financially impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The initiative, dubbed Creators for Comics, has launched a website with a list of creators involved as well as details of how fans can pitch in. Creators plan to auction off signed comics, original work, and even unique events and experiences over Twitter. These auctions will start on Wednesday, April 15th till April 20th. Okay. Creators involved in the initiative include Some Miserable Sour Old Hag, Marv Wolfman, Jeff Johns, Joe blah, 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 blah. Look at this list. Gail Simone, Jeff Lemire. Did you just call up every... Anyway.
Well, they're the people that'll lose their jobs if the industry goes under. There will be other people that can still do indie books.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people aren't them.
Yeah. I say Marv Wolfman's not bad, but you know.
Oh, thanks for contributing. What is this? The original, like, is this America art? Like the star and the flag and the, or is this just a generalized person? Just got the America theme to it.
It's a doctor.
Well, I meant America Chavez.
No, it's not America Chavez.
Well, you know,
No,
the
it's
supersized stars
little
are
thing.
always a thing. So you drew an original
Yeah.
piece of art of just a doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an American. See the A on the mask for Captain America?
No. You mean on the screen currently or the next one?
Yeah, on the screen under her chin is a mask.
Yeah.
It's got
yeah,
letter
there
A
is
on
an
it.
A there, isn't there?
It's a white A, yeah.
That's not exactly prominent, Jack. What the hell?
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. You know, she's got the banner there, the stripes, and then the star above her.
Yeah,
head.
it's really washed out looking. It should have used darker inks for the color.
Yeah,
Is it-
it's watercolor looking, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look badly rendered.
I don't get this thing. So how is this helping the comic stores?
A lot of from what I've seen, I don't know if this is what they're talking about, but a lot of the creatives got together and did like some art projects, and they're auctioning them off.
And then
Like,
the
I know
money's
Rob
going to the
Liefeld-
stores?
Yeah, they created a fund that the stores can apply to and get some
Ah.
money.
It doesn't say that here anywhere in the story, so that's why I'm confused. That's why I scrolled down and I'm like, oh, the story's done. You didn't say anything about how this is helping anyone.
That would require extra effort, and this is CBR, right?
Yes, it is.
Well,
Yeah.
there we go.
These stores have supported us through our careers. Now's our chance to support them. Comic shops and indie bookstores are the heart of our industry and our neighborhoods. No. This is exactly opposite of what you've been claiming through the whole Comicsgate thing. We're writers. We're not connected with fans or stores. We are employed by the companies. We don't owe anybody anything. And if you don't like it, get fucked. Don't buy our books. Remember?
We are not customer service representatives,
Yeah.
as Heather Antos said.
And what's his name, too? The guy who co-wrote Ignited with Wade.
Oh, Kwanzaa?
Yeah, Kwanzaa.
Osajefo.
Yeah, I remember the interview with him saying, he goes, this is not a customer service industry. We are not connected to the retail level unless you're choosing to buy our comics like from us directly, like he did with his whole Black as Fuck series, right? He goes, and even then, that is my job is to write these comics. This is not customer service. I'm not servicing anybody. And it's like, except now when the diamond is collapsing, stores are closing. Oh, we don't have the army of drooling neckbeards to buy our stuff while we seek phantom audiences. Man, the mask slips in tight situation.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. Is it Kelly Sue DeConnick was the first one listed that I described as a miserable old hag. And it's like, she is not well liked. Nobody gets excited at a Kelly Sue DeConnick. She is a mean, moralizing, finger-pointing, angry bat.
Yeah.
She never has anything nice to say. Everything is angry feminism and rewriting characters. Her comics don't sell. What the years ago, this person should have been fucking put out to pasture. I'm not saying that she can't write. It's just, anyway. It's like as soon as one of these people get a foothold in the industry, you will never hear the fucking end of them. They'll be there forever. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Oh, they're like fungal infections.
Yeah.
All right, one last
Gotta
story.
go scorched earth and yeah.
Sharon Duncan Brewster confirmed as race and gender swap Liat Keeney's in Dune film, plus other heavy indicators. The film will be woke. Do you know who else is in the Dune film, Jack?
Your favorite, Zendaya.
That's right, Zendaya.
She actually looks kind of hot. The weird homeless outfit she's got on.
Unholy Reaper says I need more booze. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bourbon in my can of Rockstar here. All right, every time. The upcoming Dune film will feature a race and gender swapped Liat. I don't know how to pronounce any of the names inside of the Dune verse, man. So you're just gonna have to okay, you're just gonna have to suffer with me, is what I'm saying. Apologies to anyone who's a Dune fan. With Sharon Duncan Brewster playing the character. Not only will the character feature this race and gender swap, but comments from the cast and director indicate the film will be woke. The character had previously portrayed by Max von Sydow. How do you pronounce it? Sydow. Remember him in the first?
I remember him in awesome movies like Strange Brew.
Strange Brew?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, right? The first Judge Dredd film. Remember?
The one with Rob Schneider and Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, yeah.
God,
that movie doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
What the fuck was Rob Schneider doing in that film? Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the donation of $5. Funny story. I had to pick up a CPAP machine to help with the apnea. They gave me everything except the power cord. That's a funny story. I hope you got an extra that's going to plug into whatever sockets on the side of the CPAP machine. That's awful, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you called and complained and they're going to give you a new one or you have an alternative one at home. That's terrible, man. Thank you for the donation, though.
Saying sleep apnea is a really, really bad disease, too.
I mean, that can destroy your sleep quality as I understand it because you're constantly being awoken a little, like on just a basic level. It can ruin just that.
Mm-hmm.
Vanity Fair confirmed the swapped characters, sharing an image of Brewster as Keynes. See below. Frank Herbert, Dune's author, described Keynes in the book as tall, thin, long sandy hair, and a sparse beard. The eyes were that fathomless blue within blue under thick brows. He further described the character. His long hair and beard were must. The blue eyes without whites were a darkness under heavy brows. He added wisps of sandy. Okay, we get the point. This bitch looks nothing like.
Well, she might have a beard for the movie. We don't know.
Is she actively going around and trying to find a man to appear straight while she's fucking chicks? Get it? Beard?
Yeah.
Not until you mentioned it. It was just that bad.
Fuck you.
PG says, what was
I
Rob
thought it was
Schneider
funny.
doing in any film? Period. Well, those films that he's in where he wakes up and he's a dog or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
really bad schlock comedy that only cost $25 million to make and is supposed to make like 35. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
Rob Schneider belongs. That's his lane,
That's his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His job is being Billy Madison's friend in real life.
I was gonna say you mean Adam Sandler's.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. He plays the same character in every movie.
Yes, he does.
Just like the fat guy that plays Paul Blart.
Kevin James.
Yeah, see? Doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Polly.
Vanity Fair claims the gender swap is an intriguing change that director Denis Villeneuve updated Liet Kynes. Brewster commented on her role that Liet Kynes, indicating the film will be woke. She stated, quote, "What Dennis had stated to me was that there was a lack of female characters in his cast, and he had always been very feminist, pro-woman, and wanted to write the role for a woman." Now, I'm not a fan of Dune, and I'm just reading this now for the first time, but Dune is absolutely full of female characters. What in the ever-loving fuck are you talking about? Like the entire, I forget the name of them, but like the lineage matriarchy of powerful sorceresses, like the mind readers and stuff, they're all women and can be only women. There's lots of powerful female characters. The main character, the guy who played the casino pimp in Showgirls, what's his name?
Oh God.
I don't know.
You guys haven't
Oh,
seen
I'm-
Showgirls? Don't you know?
Oh,
Oh, no,
Not films.
it's been a long time since I've seen Showgirls.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater, and that was the last time I saw it.
Everyone got AIDS and shit.
That was a mid-drink, you fuck. Jesus. Oh, God.
Sorry, Paul.
Oh. Yeah, if you
You
guys,
okay there?
if you haven't seen Showgirls, guys, watch it. Like, get a friend, bring popcorn, make sure you've got your snark turned on. It's so fun to bust balls on. It's so bad.
And you get to see Elizabeth Berkley's boobs.
Right?
Repeatedly. And
and,
really horribly filmed and choreographed sex scenes that don't look remotely like anyone's having sex. It's
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, and some for you to round it out. Thank you, Johnny.
nice.
Wait, are you talking about Kyle MacLachlan?
Yes.
Thanks, Angela. Yeah, I didn't even know he was in that movie. That's
Yes.
how long ago I saw that film.
You know what's funny? Why didn't I say the FBI guy from
Twin Peaks.
from Twin Peaks, the casino pimp from Showgirls?
Yeah, but I'd like to extrapolate some weird reference.
I mean, he wasn't okay. He's not a pimp in the sense that like he's running hookers, but that's basically what he's doing. He's treating the Showgirls real bad, and he's like the casino guy. That's and he grabs Elizabeth Berkley, and it's like, "You're a hooker. You were arrested for cocaine. You're no better than this." Like he's like pimping. So that's where I remember him from. I'm not a Twin Peaks guy, so I just remember him from that film. Are you talking about Kyle MacLachlan? Oh, Jack, you should be
Angela
totally
had
down
set
with
it
the
up.
obscure references.
Angela got that one. I was like, oh, as soon as she wrote it down, it's like, wait, was he in that?
Angela's one of those people. She's either quick with the memory or fast with the Google, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
He's always wanted to write the role for a woman. Brewster added, "This human being manages to basically keep the peace among many people. Women are very good at that. So why can't Keynes be a woman? Why shouldn't Keynes be a woman? Why can't you get fucked? That's the real question. Women are very good at keeping peace amongst many people. Have you ever been to a sorority? Have you ever been in a room full of women? And it's women who fill me in on this. It's women who tell me that. You don't want to be on an all-female team. If you're in undergrad and you have like an all-female work group, there's nobody getting along. It is just constant not clawing, but vying for who's in charge.
You ever seen two chicks fight it out in the mall food court? And there's like weave everywhere. Yeah, you don't want to get involved in that.
Why'd you have
Women
to
are
go
not
there?
good peacekeepers. They're
No, they're
violent.
not. This is a bunch of fucking fantasy based on Brewster's impressions of toxic masculinity. Men
Yep.
always fight and they're hostile, therefore women are the opposite of that. Get fucked. This is not realistic at all. And I love the way the person said it. Assassin of the Grey. Because the character was a man. Yeah, there's the only reason you need.
Yeah.
There's the only reason you need. Because there are plenty of female roles in it, and when you have to rewrite stuff, it shows that you're doing it for a particular reason. And what are they? Because he's always been very feminist and pro-women and wanted to write the role for women because women are peacekeeper, blah, 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 blah. Jesus Christ. Write a fucking blog. See. He explained, no matter what you believe, the Earth is changing, and we will have to adapt. That's why I think that Dune, this book, written in the 20th century, it was a distant portrait of the reality of the oil and the capitalism and the exploitation, the over-exploitation of Earth. Today, things are getting worse. It's a coming-of-age story, but also a call for action to the youth.
What book did he read?
Think of Greta Thunberg.
Oh, really?
Only-
Say that?
They reference Greta?
Yeah, I'm reading what it says here. Think Greta Thunberg. Only she's a Jedi with a diploma from Hogwarts. And I know I add things in for laughs and stuff sometimes, but there it is. That is actually there.
Oh, God.
I had to mute myself.
Read another book!
I
What's
got
everything a
nothing.
fucking Harry Potter reference? Read another fucking book! You fucking
Jedi with the
child!
diploma, Hogwarts. Oh man.
Don't just stop me. I don't. It can't get any worse or funnier or whatever than that. Greta Thunberg, a Jedi with a diploma from Hogwarts, is how they're envisioning this character. Like,
That sounds pretty woke to me.
how in any reasonable person's mind, I don't care what your political bent is or your social perspective or anything, how after reading just the stuff that we've read, he's always pro-women, wanted to write for women. Women are actually peacekeepers, and they're very good at that. And this character is going to be Greta Thunberg, Jedi with a diploma from Hogwarts. How could you see this film as anything other than social propaganda?
Look, it's INSOC approved, so
INSOC? What?
English
INSOC.
socialism, from 1984.
from 1984.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it.
You need to reread that book.
I
We
do.
all need to reread.
And while you're at it, read it. It can't happen here because I think we're going to be living that one soon enough. But yeah, this movie's going to be crap if this is the attitude they're taking. The woke shit doesn't work anymore. It never was a huge seller, and they've gotten worse and worse with each new movie, from that Charlie's Angels shit fest to Terminator Dark Poop.
Dark poop.
Again, when I'm in the middle of a drink, it's dark fate, dark poop. They
Whatever.
got blood in their stool. Oh no!
Have you seen that movie?
I still haven't actually seen Terminator Dark Poop.
Oh, dude, I was bored. I was just bored. It was like, this is stupid.
Angela says, and Polly wants to know why we can't tell when he's being a smartass. Yeah, well, they're undermining my efforts. But Functional says, I wouldn't take the word of this blog. Well, that's all coming from Variety. Now, this is from Bounding into Comics, talking about the Variety article and pulling from other articles as well to what everyone's saying about this Dune movie. In the end, it might not be as far gone as that, because that particular line is meant to summarize what they think is going on from using their own social reference points.
Yeah.
Jedi's Hogwarts Thunberg. It doesn't mean that the film itself is going to read very much like that when you watch it.
Hogwarts, Thunberg.
We have to hold out hope that they're going to do it right. And, this will just be a minor thing. But whenever they start adding characters and they're flipping the race and gender on them just for the sake of it, that's always a red flag for me. I'll probably give it a chance, check out the trailer, all that, but a lot of the stuff's going to leak out before it comes out, and hopefully we'll know by then, so I don't have to waste any money seeing it.
I can give you a good example of when things just attempting to be like the way they are in terms of like not exactly woke, but like that they're doing the forced diversity thing can really go wrong when they deviate from the storyline. If you guys have ever seen Altered Carbon on Netflix, it's run 2 seasons now, and I did a deep read on the lore of the books. I didn't read the books themselves because they're quite long, but I read somebody's like deep summary of them because I wanted to get it. Some 20 pages. Wow, did they ever deviate from it? The first season, much less than the second, but by the time they go into the second season, you'd think it was a story of Wakanda in the future. Every main character is black, which they aren't in the books. Some of them are, but they wanted to stop this idea because you have Kovac, who's the main character, who in his birth sleeve, his original body, people can change bodies in this future noir cyber storyline. He's Asian, but he's gone through a number of different sleeves, bodies since then. And in season 1, he's in a white sleeve. And everyone's like, this is whitewashing. You've taken an Asian character and made him white. I'm like, but that's the way he is in the book. This isn't whitewashing. That's consistent with the canon. And then, yes, he ends up in in the book in a black body. And that's Mackie. What's his first name? Can I please Falcon?
Anthony Mackie?
Anthony Mackie, who I love Mackie. Mackie's great. It's just in season 2, the story was terrible. They didn't give him much to work with. He's so much fun to watch on screen, but the dialogue is so bad. It becomes a love story between him and Quell Falconchrist. No, Kelchrist Falconer. That's her name. She's not even supposed to be alive. She's supposed to be a messiah figure that died 1,000 years ago. But they bring her back to life, and it's those two involved in a love story, and it's because we need the diversity characters. And I went and read like what the fuck was going on in season 2, and it's like, well, we wanted to get away from the whitewashing thing, so you made everybody black that wasn't before. You resurrected characters that are long since dead in the book, and the story goes to hell and it just falls apart because they were focused on, well, a lot of CGI, a lot of fighting, and a lot of diversity. And season 2 got trashed to hell because of it. Nobody liked it, and so now season 3 is in doubt. They started pre-production and everything, but now they're possibly going to pull the plug on it. Great. Well done. It's always a bad idea to fuck around like that.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll blame the Shanghai sniffles, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, combined with, Russian bots and alt-right trolls, it ruins everything. Am I right?
It's true.
All right, guys. We're here for
pitches
now. Yep, it's about that pitch
Woo!
time, I think. Ryan Walter says, Polly, if they're really concerned with representation, they'd make the next sleeve a midget. Jesus. You know what's funny about that? The most interesting character that everybody loves is Poe, who isn't an original character from the book. In the book, he's a completely holographic character. He's an artificial intelligence, right? In the book, he's Jimi Hendrix. Like in the way he looks and he talks, and it's like, hey, Jimmy, and he becomes Kovac's sort of like confidant and buddy. Is not really the way that it is, but just for our purposes here, like explain it. But the Jimi Hendrix family would not allow them to use Jimmy's likeness. So they recreated him as Poe, as Edgar Allan Poe. So they brought in this fucking American actor who does, in my opinion, a flawless sort of like fake English accent. And he is the most interesting character throughout both seasons. And he's like a side character. Best actor in the whole series. It's fascinating. It doesn't even need to be original canon, and it can still be good. I'm not saying you need to stick to canon perfectly, but when the whole story starts to fall apart and all you care about is flashy action, CGI, and diversity on screen 90% of the time, that's a recipe for boring. Anyway, pitches. So who would like to go first? Who's ready to go first?
I'm ready.
What's that, Jack? Or Quiz? You spoke first?
Either one of us can go.
All right. Let me just big in the screen here. You know my opinion on this quiz. It's perfectly crummy. Vertical capture? Yes. There you go, Quiz. You're up. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. For my future editing, I'm going to make my life easier here. And now it's time that we do our comic book pitches. And first up is Inquisitor. Quiz, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so mine is Story and Pencils by Mike Grell. The artist Rob Groyer, art assistant Tony Martin, photographer William Baker, and a whole bunch of other people on the art staff. Won't name them. That's okay. But my pitch is Spawn the Impaler.
Oh shit.
This is first of all, it's amazing. Like I said, look here, right here. Mike Grell working on Spawn. Fuck yes. And it is exactly what you think with that title. It's Vlad the Impaler coming back to life as a Hellspawn. And it's fantastic. There's a bit where he's in World War either 1 or 2, can't really tell, and then here in modern days, and the art. Just look at the art. You can tell some of this is photographed, and they've obviously image manipulated. But here later on, where it starts going into the flashbacks for Vlad the Impaler's life, that is so Mike Grell, and it is beautiful. Oh my god.
Yeah, Mike Grell was a legend, man.
Yep. And so I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's the story of Vlad Dracul Sepesh, and eventually it comes up to him being a Hellspawn. It's a 3-issue miniseries, and I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 issues.
What year is this from?
Let me see here.
It's gotta be the 90s.
96. Yeah. Check it out.
It's got to be the 90s. I mean, holy shit, Jack.
Well, that's when they started doing that photo art stuff a lot because they could.
Right. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. All right, Jack, what do you got for us?
All right, so I went a little more vintage. This is a facsimile edition of a classic. Picture yourself, if you will, on a boat. And Dracula shows up.
What?
Who do you want to save you? That's right, Blade, the Vampire Slayer. Tomb of Dracula, issue 10. The first appearance of Blade.
Nice.
Wow.
So
right.
Blade's got to rescue this white chick that Dracula's going after. And it is all kinds of awesome. This is Marv Wolfman with Gene Colan on art. It's just great. Like, you really need to read this. This is awesome. This is Harker. He trained Blade, like helps him, that sort of thing. And we get to see Blade in action early on in the book, fighting some vampires. And then he goes toe to toe with Dracula to free the people on this ship. And, they do everything a stereotypical vampire story. It is freaking amazing. I forgot how much I like this 70s stuff. It's just so much fun. It's a great story. It's a complete story in one issue. It does kind of tie in with other issues of the story, but you do get to have a complete story. And like, people get attacked, like this chick's grabbing a crowbar to try and take on a vampire. There's peril. Dracula's cool. Blade looks awesome. I had a lot of fun reading this. The original goes for about $600 in poor condition, but you could buy this reprint for $4.
I had no idea that was the first appearance of Blade. That's
yeah.
Pitch.
Tomb of Dracula was a good series back in the day. If you ever get a chance to read them, there's some really good stories in there, and this is probably the best issue in my opinion.
Right. My pitch for the week is... There we go. The Shadow over Innsmouth, written by Ron Mars. That's what grabbed my attention. I mean, first of all, it was The Shadow, so I wanted to read it. But that Ron Mars wrote it, who I know being a longtime Silver Surfer writer. I didn't even clue in that this is an H.P. Lovecraft universe story. I have never read The Shadow over Innsmouth, the H.P. Lovecraft story.
What?
So, yeah. So I went into this completely unaware. I didn't even, believe it or not, I'm looking at The Shadow. First time when I saw it, I didn't even notice all the fucking Cthulhu tentacles behind him. In any case, it takes place within that storyline. If you are a fan of Lovecraftian stuff, this is for you. Margot Lane and Lamont Cranston find themselves in Innsmouth, if I'm saying that right. Innsmouth? Okay. In Innsmouth, where, hey, guess what? A bunch of people that are really obsessed with the old ones and so forth, and the Lovecraftian lore and cults and mystery, and there's the creatures that populate Innsmouth and the mystery that the townspeople don't know, and of course the Shadow gets involved and starts finding out what hell's going on in this town, and layers of mystery abound, and just, oh man, look at the art and the detail. If you love Lovecraftian stuff, this is for you. It is darker and more scary, old-timey, mystery-oriented than your average comic. There's not a lot of action to it. It's about the tension, the suspense, but you still got awesome pages like this shit. Am I right? Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, highly recommended. He ends up battling it out with the confusing sea creatures and doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he refuses to relent because once he's been attacked and Margot's been threatened, he's going to find his way through this mystery, god damn it. So, it's a one-shot from Dynamite, The Shadow over Innsmouth. Check it out.
That looks cool.
Sounds good to me.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode in the can. Let's see. Let's run down the list. I would like to thank everybody for showing up. I would like to thank Evolve Potato for posting our links throughout the chat. I'd like to thank Chat for being extra spicy today. You guys were hilarious. Lots of great questions. James Colley just asked, which Shadow is it, Polydub? The Shadow over Innsmouth. Like, the original story is named The Shadow over Innsmouth, and then these guys wanted to do a Lovecraftian shadow story, so they simply called it The Shadow. Pause. Over Innsmouth. Get it?
Real quick on the Streamlabs. Thank you, James Kelly, for the donation. Holy hell, Batman Blade looks like Black Dynamite.
Yeah,
it does.
A little bit.
Yeah, and then Unholy Reaper describes as it's Lovecraft psychological thriller. Yeah, as opposed to when I say old-timey mystery, I mean those lines. It's what the hell's going on here, and then the mystery deepens and thus the tension. Unlike a traditional murder mystery story. It's great along those lines. If you that stuff, it's for you. Where was I? Thank you, chat, for being extra spicy. Thank you, everybody, for your very generous donations. You guys were awesome tonight. It is greatly appreciated, badly needed. So, yet another reason. Jack, quiz. Any final thoughts?
Thanks for the donation, guys. You're awesome. And don't forget to go read some comic books.
Yeah, read more comics.
Actually, that's a great fucking finishing thought, isn't it? You're quarantined. Read comics. If you need suggestions, hit us up on Twitter. We'll be happy to help. If not, look forward to the next clip of our pitches coming up. I'm going to be posting. I think I'm just going to post one a day. I think that's a good idea. Just have them set to go, scheduled in the morning. That's what I did this morning. Had it set for fucking time I did. I can't remember. Kind of drunk at the time. All right. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thank you for the donations. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night, everybody. Stay healthy.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.